Hello everyone, this is GrayMatter with GrayMatter Tutorials. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I had 3 Thanksgiving dinners to go to. I'm really full, but it was a really great day. I'm really glad I got to spend it with all of my family and then my girlfriend's family as well. It was really cool. But in this tutorial series, we're going to go ahead and talk about a simple dialogue system, how we might implement one in Unity. And we're really going to be focusing on like a role-playing game type of dialogue system, one that branches out, has conditions and stuff like that, as opposed to a linear-based one that you might find in like a story game or, like a cutscene within a game. If you're interested in one of those, I can go ahead and write a blog post about it that you guys can look at, read through kind of thing. But it's really going to require a simpler implementation for that, as opposed to what we're dealing with in this. You could use this. It would work the same, but it's really unnecessary the way that we're going to go about doing it. But honestly, if you want to add some dynamics to your story, do this kind of dialogue as opposed to the other. It would work better. But if your story really requires that, you're probably not going to need to focus or worry about this one. So with all of that being said, this is going to probably be a couple parts long, couple videos that is, trying to keep them relatively short. So in this video, all we're going to do is talk about an interface and how it relates to the project. And then in the next videos, we're going to talk about the core classes that make up the dialogue system and how we might make them more complex. And I'm pretty good at explaining everything quite thoroughly. So let's go ahead and get started then. Alright, now that we're in Unity, one of the first things that you might notice is this folder structure I have set up here. I do this for organizational purposes as far as my classes go, but I do the same thing with namespaces in each of my classes, and they do correlate with each other. For instance, the source folder will have classes that are at a namespace GrayMatter, and the mono behaviors folder will have classes at the GrayMatter.monoBehaviors namespace. And when there's more folders, that becomes more apparent, especially with subfolders and stuff like that. But as of right now, this is all we need. So what I want to go ahead and do is create an iCondition interface. So let's go ahead and call that iCondition. And let's go ahead and open that up in Visual Studio. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete all of that, and we'll go ahead and type our namespace here at the top. Mine's going to be GrayMatter, of course. Yours can be whatever you would like it to. We're going to do public interface iCondition, and the only thing we need in this interface is an evaluate method. So a little bit about where we're going with the iCondition interface is that every class that deals with a condition, that is a condition, is going to be inheriting from this and is going to be using this evaluate method. And basically what we're going to be doing is providing information to those classes on things within our game to determine if they are equal to something. Or if they evaluate to be true, the condition that we're testing them in. For instance, if we have a quest and then we also have state, which will determine what state the quest is in, we can provide a quest to a quest state condition class. We can provide a quest to it, and we can also provide the state that we're trying to target. We'll call the quest and the state target state. So what we'll do in this evaluate method is we'll say if quest.status or state, whatever we decide to name it, the state of the quest is equal to the target state, and we'll return that statement right there, and that will return true if it is equal for this evaluate method. Otherwise, it will return false. So this will be attached to a list of conditions on the entry, and the list of conditions will be checked before the entry is determined whether you can traverse it or not. If it returns false, you're not allowed to traverse that entry, so you'll have to choose a different path for the conversation. So for instance, in the situation where you're talking to a quest giver and the state of the quest that you're checking is inactive, he might say, hey, you want to do me a favor? And you say yes, and that whole conversation path, and then you start the quest, and it gets set to active at the end of the conversation, and then you go back to, click on him again. You talk to him again, and he'll say, hey, you said you'd do me a favor, but you haven't done it yet. So then you'll go through that conversation path, and then you click on him again. He'll say, hey, you said you would do a favor. Well, that's because you haven't completed yet. He's just going to repeat that over and over and over again, because that's what comes out to be true. So then you go, you do the favor, and then you come back after it was complete, and then you talk to him, and he's like, oh, thank you. I can't believe you did that for me. That was so great. You're awesome. And then you leave and stop talking to him. Or maybe you talk to him again and he'll say it again, because that's the way that we have our condition set up. So I would probably set up another variable in that instance so he doesn't say that ever again. But yeah, that's just one way that one example of which you would have conditions in a conversation. So that's kind of where we're going to be going with this test, or this dialogue system, and how we're going to test it later. So thank you for watching this video. Feel free to watch the next video. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and we'll go ahead and talk about creating the conversation in the next video.